Hello and welcome to Thursday the 4th of February's Year 2 Phonics for Grasshoppers and Dragonflies. So, first thing we're going to do today is practice our words of the week. Who can remember what they are? Ready? They are told, cold, eye and eyes. So the challenge is today is can you write and spell these words correctly? So get yourself a pen and paper. And a really good thing to do is the look, cover, write. So you write the words down in a list: told, cold, eye and eyes. You then cover them up with your hand and then you try and write each word next to it correctly without looking, and then afterwards you check to see if it was correct. So you might want to pause the video at this point in order to be able to do that. Just a reminder here of some of the memory strategies that you might want to use to help you learn those words. We might want to break words into syllables. We might want to find their root word. We might want to use a spelling pattern, just like in our words cold and old, or you might want to make a mnemonic to help you remember them. Okay, so far in previous weeks we've looked at the suffix ed, and today we're going to continue investigating what happens when we add the ing suffix. And when you write verbs in the present continuous and past continuous tenses, that's when we use the ending ing. So what happens when we add ing to words that have a short vowel sound in them and one consonant at the end? So have a little think about the rule for ed when we added the ed suffix to a word with a short vowel sound and a consonant at the end. Can anyone remember what happened to those words? Let's have a look. We doubled the consonant, didn't we? So shall we have a look at this one? Right, we also have the same rule with this. We need to double the consonant before we add ing. So exactly the same rule as if it was adding the ed suffix. If it's got a short vowel sound in it and a one consonant at the end, we double the consonant before adding ing. So let's have a look at some examples. So got the word hit there. So you've got it, the short vowel, and t, the consonant at the end. So hit becomes hitting. We double the t, adding ing. Got hug, then becomes hugging. We're doubling the g and adding ing. And then we've got spot, becomes spotting. So we've doubled the t and added ing. So can you find any more examples of these? I'm sure you can. Maybe you can have a go at writing some of them down. So we're going to see if we can practice turning the following verbs into the past continuous using that rule we've learned today, where if it has the short vowel, we are doubling the final consonant. Okay, are you ready? The list is going to come up. We've got the word beg, cat, grin, flip, hop, and the last one there is a bit of a tricky one, hope. That is, and there's a reason, and I'll explain why in a moment why that one's on there, which is actually using yesterday's rule. So this might be a good point to pause the video so that you can write down what is going to happen to those words when we add the suffix ing into it. So pause the video now. Okay, hopefully you've had a little bit of time to have a go at seeing what's going to happen to those words when we add the ing. So today's rule is doubling that final consonant before adding the ing. So beg will become begging. We've got the double G, then ing. Then we've got chat becomes chatting. We doubled the T and added ing. Grin becomes grinning. We've doubled the N and added ing. Flip becomes flipping. We've doubled the P and added ing. Then we've got the word hop. Hop becomes hopping. Okay, so we've doubled the P and then added ing. Now hope, looking from yesterday's rule, we take away the E and add the ing. Hope becomes hoping. Now the reason I have put those two there is because if you look at them, they look very, very similar, don't they? Okay, and sometimes it can be quite tricky when you're reading those. Okay, you might think that the hope becoming hoping is the same as hopping, and you might read that as hopping. But what is the difference? Can you actually see? If you look at the word hopping and the word hoping, O is the short vowel sound. O is the long vowel sound. So because hopping is the short vowel sound, we have doubled the final consonant, the P. So hopping has 2 Ps and hoping has 1. But hopefully you can see the difference. Oh, and if that ever comes up in any reading, you'll understand the difference now. Well done if you wrote all those down correctly. So we're going to see now if we can read this sentence together. Okay, so it starts with I, okay, and that's a capital, of course. I got in. I got in. Then we've got a longer word here. Trouble. I got in trouble. Or for. And then today, it's one of today's words. Chatting in the. And then this is one of our polysyllabic words. Classroom. So can we read that all together? I got in trouble for chatting in the classroom. Well done if you read that one. And as a little extra challenge, if you would like to do it, could you perhaps write that sentence down? Perhaps you could cover up the sentence and then see if you can write it, or get someone to read it to you again, or you could rewind and I could read it again to you without you looking and see if you could write it down. Of course, if you want to pause the video at any point, then you can. Okay, the last thing that we are going to do is using some of the words that we have learnt for our adding the suffix ing rule today. Can you write your own sentences using these words? We've got the words flipping, hopping, and hugging. So remembering with that hopping word, we're not mistaking it for hoping. It's hopping because it's got the double P. So you might want to write a sentence like, I was flipping a pancake. I was hopping around my front room. I love hugging my dog. Okay, so it could be any kind of sentence you like. You could perhaps pause the video right now so that you can write those words down and then you can put them into a sentence. I'm sure you will come up with some really creative, wonderful sentences there. And that is it for today. So thank you very much for listening. Enjoy the rest of your day and I will see you again tomorrow. Goodbye.